Lavender, it's everywhere. In your soap, your body lotion, and even in your candles. You buy it, believing it will calm you, relax you, or even help you sleep. But what if I told you that what you are using is not actually true lavender at all? Hi, my name is Jan Benham. I've been a clinical aromatherapist and teacher for over 40 years. And I wanted to bring this to your attention, especially those people who are doing formulating or even buying products believing that these products will be good and gentle on your skin. The ingredient that they're using and they name lavender is actually called Lavandin, and it's a Lavandula hybrida, so it's a hybrid of a lavender. It was originally produced in the Provence, it still is, because it gives a higher yield of essential oil than true lavender. So it makes the product a lot cheaper. So technically people can still put Lavandin in a soap and call it lavender soap or lavender deodorant. But I want to explain the differences between true lavender and Lavandin and why it matters. So they both have, even though they're both lavenders, they both have completely different chemical content. And they have different results, of course, what happens on the skin and, of course, emotionally and mentally. So Lavandin, for example, will not help you sleep. It's too stimulating. So you need to be able to know what to look for in the list of ingredients if you want to have a product that has true lavender in. So I'm going to put this now I'm going to put a piece of paper on the up now so you can see what I mean. So Lavandin is a hybrid of true lavender, Lavandula angustifolia, and spike lavender, which is called Lavandula latifolia. Because of this, Lavandin can carry some of the sharper chemical characteristics associated with spike lavender. So you can see here, I'm not going to give you a full chemistry lesson, but basically true lavender contains more esters than Lavandin. Now esters, which is a chemical content in most essential oils, is a very calming element. So if I want something to calm the skin, if I'm doing facials, then I want to use an essential oil that contains more esters. And this helps to calm the skin down. It also helps to calm the mind down as well. Now, in an essential oil, there are thousands of different chemicals, and there are main chemical groups. So we can see here that, for example, there's allergies to linalool. In true lavender, there is very little linalool. But in Lavandin, there is a lot more linalool in. So most people, when they have a reaction to lavender, it's because they're reacting to Lavandin, not true lavender. Also, if you have more esters in something, it usually mitigates any other products. So if there's something that could be irritating, as soon as you add an ester to it, it tends to take out the badness out of it. So it kind of quenches that area. So what true lavender comes out from the chemical constituents, it means it's softer, rounder, and more skin friendly. Whereas Lavandin is sharper, more stimulating, and basically has more camphor, natural camphor in. So it has a stronger smell, herby smell. Now what this means in practice is true lavender is richer in esters. Esters are associated with a softer, gentler, more calming aromatic profile. This is one reason true lavender is traditionally preferred in aromatherapy for skin applications. Lavandin contains more camphor and more oxide type constituents. This gives it a sharper, more stimulating and often more medicinal smell. Chemically, it is less gentle and can be less suitable for sensitive skin. And why does the industry use Lavandin? Because Lavandin has a higher yield, so it's a lot cheaper to buy. So true lavender is often more chosen when quality, skin use and the aromatherapy value are the priority. So Lavandin is grown for quantity. True lavender is chosen for quality. So now I'm going to show you two ingredient lists of similar products. They're both lavender deodorants. So the first one I'm going to show you is basically contains Lavandula hybrida. So this is Lavandin. So you can see here this ingredient list here, it has quite a lot of good stuff in it. There's good product in it. Not much bad. I don't like the benzoate in it, but other than that, it's not too bad. And you can see in red, Lavandula hybrido grosso herb oil. Now I'm going to show you a second ingredient list. And you can see in red here immediately, Lavandula angustifolia oil. Also, it has less ingredients in, which means if you're going to be allergic to something or you're going to be irritated by something, you're going to have less problems with a product that has less ingredients in than one that has a lot of ingredients in. So when you are looking for a product that has true lavender in, especially if you're looking for a sleep product and it says lavender and then you look at the ingredients and it says basically Lavandin, it's not going to help you sleep at all. It's not going to calm you. It's stimulating. It has a completely different effect on the body and mind. So if you want something to help you calm you, relax you, soothing, and you want to help soothe your skin, make sure that your lavender product that you're buying is the chemical name. It contains Lavandula angustifolia. Also, it's also known as Lavandula officinalis as well. And also, they've also known it as Lavandula vera, which means true lavender. So as long as you've got any of those three names down, you'll be okay most of the time. Now I've got a little little chemistry lesson that I thought I would put on the end of this video so you can see a little bit more about chemistry and how much it matters if you want to know what is in your product, or if you're formulating. It's very important to know these details as well. So I will say goodbye for now and enjoy the clip. And I hope you found this helpful, and I'm available if you have any comments. So it's bye for now. Some Latin words is folia, leaf, fragrance is fragrant, and so on. Vera is true, so Lavandula vera means true lavender. Angustifolia, angus is narrow, leaves, so a lavender plant is a narrow-leaved lavender, narrow-leaved. So you can get that. Graveolens, which is the name of some geraniums. They all sometimes have different Latin names. So the geranium I particularly love is Graveolens pelargonium, which is heavily scented geranium basically. And it's usually a rosy scented, so sometimes the common name is to call it rose scented geranium, but actually it's geranium. So looking at the names can give you an idea about what they might do. So this is the way all the way through, especially of herbs that we use a lot in the Middle Ages. So definitely the Latin name is to look, and then of course you've got your common names in different parts of the world. For example, helichrysum is common name is often immortelle. Another common name is everlasting. So you've got different common names depending on where you are in the world. So if you're unsure, just look at the Latin name and go by that.